I will call the Wednesday, July 22nd meeting of the Public Safety Committee to order. I will declare a quorum, myself, trustee Radke, trustee Hummel, Chief Lees, President Mansell, and Administrator Martinson are all present. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda for today as well as the meeting minutes from June 24th?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion? I did have one thing, but nope, it's on PPL. I remember I had a comment on PPL. Yeah. No, this one was all good. All right. No additional discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. Chairperson comments. I have nothing. Did get an email from PFC Chairman Stewart. We are moving one more forward to Chief Lees for consideration. That will be Mason Hackman. And when you come to your report there, you can say where you're at with that process. Any public comments?
Nobody on?
I'm seeing none, nobody in the room. And that segues right into you, Chief. Floor is yours.
Y'all have my monthly report in front of you for July. We held our department meeting, ton of public safety. The grants are just an ongoing thing, so they'll always be on there. We hired one more firefighter, Mason Hackman. I offered him a position today and he gladly accepted. So he'll be looking to start probably later this week. I'll probably get him down there to get him all of his stuff and all that.
What
We
does
had-
that make our roster? Sorry.
what's that?
What does that make our roster?
With him and Hughes coming back, that'll make us to 28. Wow. 28 out of 30. Yeah, doing good.
So in just, theoretically, if we hit 30, do you have an eligibility list that you hold on to then?
Yeah,
Or
I'll make a wait list, I guess you'd
Okay.
say. And they'd still be able to come like to department
train and
functions,
things.
trainings, that kind of stuff. They just won't be able to go on calls and I wouldn't be paying them.
Okay.
But then as soon as say someone wants to resign or whatever the case may be, then they could fill that, the first person could fill that spot and then everybody else would just move up.
Perfect.
I have 2 members that are gonna be starting school in August. They'll be starting their fire classes, entry level, and then they'll roll right into hazmat and fire 1. AC Lukey put the DNR grant in, so I mean, that's an automatic, we'll get it. It's just a 50/50 grant with us. We do it every year. And I just left the host card on there that school.
It is.
See our calls for the year, we're up to 151 calls for the year. A couple of mutual aids to Rapids, one in Nakusa and one down to Remington today. No problems with any of our vehicles. Yeah, that's literally it.
606 miles.
600.
Saw that.
Question, how does that compare to calls from last year?
We're about the same.
Okay,
We're pretty well on
Right.
course. Yeah, we're right. It ebbs and flows, but grand total with calls for the year, we're about right where we were last year.
I think August was our big month last year.
Yeah, well, August last year, we did 44 or something like that. It was the busiest year we've ever had, or busiest month we've ever had, that I could find in the 100 years that we've been around, or 102 now, or 3.
Portion still the same, a large majority of those EMS.
Oh, yeah, we're 2 to 1 EMS to fire easily. And most of our fires are just either false alarms or mutual aid to other people, which is good. I'll keep it
Right.
that way. I like it.
I do too.
Other people could have that.
We don't need that excitement here.
No, we do not.
All right. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Perfect. Appreciate it. Any questions, Chief Lees?
Thank you, Chief.
Appreciate it. Okay, moving on. The police department report. Minister Martinson is gonna take this one right here.
So I did have a discussion with Brandon before the meeting that he could not attend. In the packet has your report. With DMI, there's been some issues of trespassing and different things there, but between the Port Edwards Police Department and Wood County, they've been able to take care of that situation. Obviously, that first building is owned by Wood County, the office building, so Wood County obviously in-house has their own issues and concerns about that. So I know they've been blocking up the doorways with some different pavers and things like that, trying to keep that building safe as they can, because that is owned by Wood County. So no issues there. as in the squads, as you can see, squad one needed some brake replacement. That is a squad that will be looking to replace come budget time this year. So we'll definitely, I know Brandon's gonna try to keep that vehicle as safe as we can for the drivers, but also look at the cost of things that we don't put a bunch of money in something that we're gonna be getting rid of. In the old business, we talked about meeting with the school. Today when Brandon was here this morning, we met with, Administrator Vina and Principal Steltenpohl to discuss, the SRO program from last year and the program for this year and the crossing guards. If you don't remember last year, we kind of put a little bit of a sheet together to understand payments when they were gonna come, charges and things like that. Basically, we kept that intact, same as last year. There was no issues. The school was good about making the payments. That helped Diane and Lisa from the school know when the checks were coming and going for budget standpoint. So, well, we kept that same agreement in place. They had no issues. They thanked obviously the Portage Police Department for everything they did. And we'll keep monitoring that moving forward. So, we've got that back in place for the 2026-27 school year. Other than that, Brandon didn't have anything else, they're all trying to do, I think last month I talked about ordinances. It's a hot time of year. We're trying to do the best we can. Working with the PD, working with the residents to get things cleaned up. If it's cutting grass, vehicles parked in certain areas, things like that. So it's not easy and nobody wants to try to give a resident a big citation, but we have ordinances in place. We want to keep people accountable that need to keep things cleaned up. So it's definitely a tough task. And I do tell people to call me. I can, explain what the situation by it's maybe not moving as fast as what they like, where we're at. Most people do, when we send a letter, they do respond back to us. I think last week at the board meeting, I said we sent out 40 some long grass letters and when I drove around, other than 2 or 3, they weren't taken care of. Sometimes being a long-time resident, I do have phone numbers or texts or ways to get a hold of people. I get a hold of people, next thing you know, it's cleaned up. So we don't have a lot of follow through with citations. But things are done. The car parking and things like that, those get a little bit tougher, right? I mean, people buy houses that have a single driveway or single garage and have 3 cars in a camper, and where are they supposed to put it, right? I mean, it's a tough battle. Our ordinances read they need to be on a hard surface. It's not, doesn't say blacktop, doesn't say concrete, I try to work with people. I mean, keep the weeds cut from underneath it, keep it looking clean, right? I mean, nobody wants to see a boat or a camper sitting on a piece of grass where the grass is coming through the wheel wells and things like that. So it's a tough battle. It will be from what I'm hearing for the next guy is here. I know when Chief Radke was here, we did the same thing. We work and butt heads and try the best we could. So, but like I said, that's kind of the biggest task we've been dealing with right now.
Mr. Radke.
Just one thing I see in the DMI had some trespassing. I understand that there's some people who are trying to take metal or whatnot, but the citations we issued DMI, do you know if they, and maybe we can wait until Chief Abbott's back, but did the court date come and go with that or?
So yes, I can follow back with you that. So, we did issue citations. We're up to almost just under $10,000. For citations, DMI has showed no response to the village, no response to the court or anything. I did reach out to our legal and kind of explain to them, because I do want to, PLP, report back to them tonight. What should we do, right? I mean, do we keep writing the citations to them? What are the steps? And legal did get back to me. And legal said, definitely good that you did it. You can keep the citations rolling, and it comes to a matter of if the village of Port Edwards as a board wants to take it to the next step. I mean, our legal itself cannot do anything to the next level. If we want to hire an outside firm to push these citations and issue them, because obviously they live out of the state, so we have to issue them out of state papers, and you being the police, a lot more about that than I do.
Yeah, they have to be
But it's
served.
not just, so there's a cost to it. And I guess this comes back to the PLP is what do we want to do at the end? I mean, does the village of Port Edwards want to keep after it and go after DMI? I mean, not just speaking out there, but I mean, I don't know, like the village wants to push it and get those buildings back underneath their name. You know, how far do we wanna push this? So I know at PLP tonight, I'm gonna bring that up as what they like to do. I know right now Chief Abbott is still issuing the tickets. And like I said, legal said that's a good idea, but they're just gonna keep stacking up, right? We know that. I mean, just like the post office, there's $15,000 worth of citations stacked up. But unless we wanna, you know, they cleaned that building up, they redid it. But unless we wanna hire an attorney and move forward, you know, our legal budget does not have that. You know, we do just enough for each month. So I think that's kind of discussion that maybe I can talk to the president. We can put on the administrative report in the next couple of months is, you know, how far do we wanna push this DMI moving forward? So I'm sorry, I don't have better
Right,
news,
I
but
know,
I'm
I
being
figured.
straightforward with you. That what came from the legal. And, you know, that's kind of where we were at last time. I think we've been this before with the citations and it's not an easy to, you know, if they come to get permits and licenses, I mean, we can hold back that, right? You know, if they want a building permit or they want somebody doing it, we can say, hey, you're not getting a building permit until you pay your tickets. But obviously, I don't believe they're gonna be coming, getting building permits from us. So that's about the only we have to hold on them. Record, the taxes go through Wood County, and that's not an easy task to get that on there. So,
I guess I was just hoping that would open up some dialogue between DMI and the village board. Cause they did come in good faith a couple times to the meetings but it just, I was just hoping maybe sometimes when you have something that's an eye opener, that you would try to reach out and work with that entity, kind of like you say about campers and on a hard surface and trying to make things look neat and nice. So I guess that would be up. I think that you're right. Maybe that could come from the president's report in a couple months, and as a whole board, we can decide what other people's opinions are and what we want to do moving forward.
yeah, and I
It's
would,
just a good update.
have legal maybe type something up that you could see exactly what his recommendation, I write from the legal to attach to the packet when we talk about that president's report.
Thank you.
I probably should just encourage a PLP to, or PPL to do this. We talked multiple times about, let's do something with the media about what's going on. And I still think that's not a legal thing, but it gets that out there, not only in the public here, but we hook up with, the press in location where the headquarters is. It doesn't hurt, and it at least puts it out there as a public kind of thing. I'm still disappointed the legislators that our president had taken the time to contact or whatever, and hasn't really been that interested in being active, shall I say, in that process. So we're doing a ton of things, but let's just reconsider that media thing. And it doesn't cost us anything, but it gets it out there in the public. I'm not sure that the public is totally aware of the status of that. Maybe they are. But it's probably a good time too, since the Rapids is talking about the AI building there where the demolished mill is. I just think it's something we could do.
Yeah, I can try to do a little bit bigger report and report to the whole
Thank
board.
you.
Yep, we can put that under, when we talk about it under my thing, I can make sure we ask that, remind me, in case I forget, but.
And I do have a question about Chief Lisa. If there happens to be a fire in that space, is the village obligated to go and fight that fire?
We will not be sending anybody inside any of the DMI or the county buildings.
Say that again.
We will not be sending any of my personnel or anybody that comes on scene
Oh.
into those buildings.
And they've got that letter.
Yep.
We sent them a
So
letter
that was-
probably 6-7 years ago. That was basically Edwards and, is the mark, basically the fire department would stage at the YMCA and protect it from there. And that was a letter from our
Yeah.
legal that was there.
I'm suspicious that some of the executives there have turned over in the last 6 or 7 years. We might want to reiterate that. Doesn't hurt.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
I can send them some.
No, you don't,
letter, can
whatever.
forward it to them. I don't care.
We can work on, we can type that up, absolutely.
Does my own curiosity, probably not a part of this meeting, but does the county have any plans to do with that other building? Do we know?
We gave them obviously when Wisconsin Rapids demo, the guy that was doing that,
Yeah.
you know, we got a price on both buildings. And I did have some discussion with Heather and Jason. You know, I know they're battling their own. I think the foundry in Wisconsin Rapids at that time was kind of one of their first hot topics. They were working on that and, you know, we've had some discussions and obviously, you know, if there's grant money out there, they would definitely support it. But as
They're not gonna-
we've tried and what we've done before, I mean, there's nothing out there to demolish and tear down. It's more studies and development plans compared to the actual
Yeah.
getting the work done.
Yeah.
So,
As far as developing it, demolishing it, zero chance that levy dollars are gonna be spent on that.
Yeah.
If it comes from an outside funding source, like you mentioned, there's a possibility, but county board has zero appetite to allocate levy funds to do anything with that property at this point. That would just set an incredibly weird precedent, because they take over, they tax deed, you know, businesses and homes and things like that, and they just don't want to get into the development business. That's kind of a dangerous thing to do, and I don't think Ford wants to get into the development business either.
No,
Yeah.
So, all right, did have one other question. So, you know, I know there was trespassing issues there too. Was that mostly juveniles? Is it because summer? And then I see here burglary. I'm assuming those are just scrappers that are going in there trying to steal whatever they can. Is it predominantly juveniles that are trespassing on the property? Is it a little bit both?
a little bit of both from what I've heard. I haven't got deep into,
Okay.
I guess knowing that side of it is what I've gotten, but I mean, it was a little bit of each or whatever.
Okay.
But like I said, I do believe, I know what happened over the weekend and Brandon called me and kept me in update what was going on and I think after the Friday, Saturday, things were taken care of and obviously I know they're doing extra security things down there, so I think one person gets caught, it tells everybody else to stay out. You guys, you know, all that.
Okay, I think we've beaten that one to death. Any other questions about anything in the police chief's report? Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it. Any old business to discuss? Hearing none. Any correspondence received? Outside of the PFC communication, I have received nothing. Okay, agenda items for next meeting? Standard meeting? Perfect. Next meeting dates. What would the fourth Wednesday be? I know this month was a little weird because there's 5 of them. But yeah,
August 27th, isn't it?
that sounds about right.
Just so you know,
26th.
Nick,
Yep.
the Parks is not going to meet in August,
Okay.
but we did set our meeting a month after in the fourth Wednesday at 4:00.
Okay, September 23rd then?
Yes. correct.
Okay, so we're gonna go with August 26th, 4:30. Sounds reasonable? Okay, so let it be written. All right, any other comments, questions, Snyder marks? Good jokes, hearing none. I shall declare this meeting adjourned at 4:48. Thank you all.